What's up, everybody? It's Andrew Schulz here. I'm here with Hani.
What up?
Marco. Jack.
It's been a while.
The Westerbros, we're back, man. Yo, sorry. Every time I go do a show, every time I'm on Twitter, Instagram, I always got people asking me, is Westerbros coming back? And at first it was like they missed it. And lately it's been like a plead for help. Because what the fuck is going on?
Maybe y'all can help us.
For real, I'm like really relying on Jack here. Like, have you? I hope you've done
3 episodes.
So
like,
yeah,
this is the last podcast.
I was trying to figure out. I think
at least 3, right?
I think it's been
It
4.
might be 4 if we include tonight.
I think it's 3. I'm confident it's 3.
Guys, I'm so lost. I don't know. Genuinely lost in
Well,
this show.
tonight we can throw out. Because it was just a backstory.
You want to talk about tonight?
Wait, let's
No,
talk
it
about.
really wasn't a backstory.
No.
It's not what you wanted.
Let's go
but
back. Let's go
in a
back. Let's
vacuum,
go back.
This was actually like a really
Real quick. Hold on.
All right.
We'll start from okay. We're not going to go over each episode.
No.
We're all caught up if we're listening to this right now as we're talking to this. So we're going to talk about all the episodes together leading up to this one right now and everything that's going on. Because to be honest, all these episodes are bleeding together. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yep.
It's a lot. A
But
lot
what
of
have been
things
the
are
big
happening.
reveals that so far that we've had some monster ones?
Biggest reveal.
Yep.
End of 2 weeks ago into last week's episode.
Correct.
Ford's alive.
Well,
In some capacity, and he seems to be. It's kind of like what we were talking about originally, where he's existing in this mesh neural network where he can just kind of hop around.
and the thing that he made clear was that he can exist in this neural network. He can't exist in the real world. There's something that happens in the real world where these robots start to break down.
Correct.
Yes.
He understands that about himself. He has submitted himself to this digital world because maybe it was Ford's goal the whole time to live forever.
Mm-hmm.
And he realized, okay, I can't exist forever if I do it in this digital world. Delos wanted to do it in the real world. That wasn't happening. Maybe it will. Who knows? Etc.
Right.
Right? Same page.
Yes.
Yep.
Then they went to Japan.
Okay, so Shogun World, which
For what?
Really feels like
here's the
for
thing.
what?
Are
So-
they just checking off diversity quotas? Is that what this is?
I think that the people kind of wanted it, and they were just they just gave it to them just for that reason.
Dude,
was
you know
fan
what this?
service.
You know when like a car company, like they have a car that puts out a lot of emissions, so they needed to make like a Nissan Leaf to balance it out. Like I feel like this is what HBO did. They're like, let's get all the diversity out of the way now. Because when Game of Thrones come back, you're not going to see nobody not white. The Unsullied are dead. You know what I mean? You're going to see white people every episode, and it's going to be 2-hour episodes. So they gave us the Nissan Leaf with Westworld. Okay, get your Asians out the way. Native Americans, boom, represent it. I don't know if there's going to be a Wakanda.
So I think
world.
that
Wakanda
story's
world.
dead, but they just touched on that world. They give you a little piece of it. They really felt like no need that we had to go into Shogun World at all. At this juncture.
also it was just complete. The whole point of it was to show how it's repetitive and the storylines are carried over into these different worlds. But as an audience watching it, we've already seen all this shit.
Right.
So this is like fucking boring.
We
you know what I
understood
mean?
that. Yeah.
It was like
I'll go on the other side. It'll come back. It'll be useful down the line.
Wait, and what is your theory?
I have no idea, but it'll come back.
well, that dude who plays the main
come back.
samurai, he's like a pretty big name actor. I recognize him.
Yo, he was a beast.
He's gonna come back.
The episode, tonight's episode,
How
to do the whole-
sexually
like,
repressed?
for a while, you were like, "Why is this here? Why is this here?" And then tonight, they have
Which
the
guy?
whole-
Shadow?
Shadow Warrior.
Shadow Warrior.
Yeah.
Aka?
Akishida.
No, Aki.
Let's call him Aki.
Akashida.
Akishida.
Akashida. Let's call it. Okay, whatever. Tonto.
But I will say this too. I think it's been a trend this season more so than last season. Every even episode, 1, 3, 5, good.
Those are odds.
Every odd episode.
Yeah.
Every even episode has been fucking slow and boring.
So they're doing it on purpose.
Would you say
No,
this one
but
was slow and boring?
This one was pretty slow.
6 and
the one
7 were not like
Real quick.
6 was fucking dope.
I just
think
want to.
he's right.
6 was Shogun.
No, 5 was Shogun.
Okay.
I want to
So
speak
maybe
to
there's not a real
something
trend.
real quickly of just about Japan World or Shogun World, just about how repressed the Japanese are sexually. Because in every other world, you're just blasting pussy, and in Japan World, the big thing was that she was gonna dance. Dude, she's gonna dance.
To
What
Wu-Tang.
Akura or whatever her fucking name to Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
What if?
No, it was that
Get
the
the fuck outta
instrumental
here.
in that
They,
episode was
because
Wu-Tang.
they work in modern music with.
Yeah.
I've seen that, but I didn't pick up on it. What song?
Yeah, it was.
Cash rules everything around me.
No, it
That
wasn't
would be
Korean.
the early favorite. I would have guessed that myself. I don't remember what it was though either.
I gotta look it up now.
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
We're the 3 episodes behind. I can't remember shit now about those other episodes. But
okay, fair enough. Okay, so back there. So we get Shogun World out of the way. We learn that Thandie Newton has power to control everybody.
We haven't been here for that yet. Well, that was a big one,
bro. Yeah.
I think last time the 3 of us talked about it.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, fair enough. But now she's able to do it cerebrally, right? Before she had to.
Now.
Yeah. Now it's
growing.
done.
Her
Easy.
power's growing.
Yeah. So she exists.
She exists, but now we go to Shogun World, which, as of now, is pointless.
Yeah.
I'm sure that one of that dude's going to come back with a samurai sword at some point and help them.
Right.
But then the next thing is like, I guess tonight's episode tied it in a little bit. As boring as tonight's episode was, I was actually very pissed at the end of last episode that we had just went through this thing with Thandie Newton's daughter, and it seemed like a pointless endeavor. It's at some point why she was so attached to this idea of like retrieving her child.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what they're trying to convince us of right now, right? Is that these people have relationships that might be even more serious than the ones we have. Right, because these relationships for them, they last like lifetimes.
And then they do it again.
Mm-hmm. Again.
Recycle.
They're recycling this trauma. And I think a cool point that was made about the Aki or whatever his name was, the only reason he can get updated is because he didn't get murked.
Mm-hmm. 10 years.
10 years.
Guy was out there.
Murked.
She's like, he's been out there for a decade and he's survived the whole time?
So he's the one. Now, I started the episode 9 minutes late. Did I miss that little maze thing? Did I miss the importance of that maze thing?
Yeah, so you did.
Okay, what happened in the first?
So you know the scene where Dolores kills Arnold in that
walks up behind him, bang,
shoots him, right?
Yeah.
So this takes you to a point where he stumbles upon that happening, that town that they're in, and sees Arnold dead on the ground.
I saw that.
Oh, you saw that, and he finds the map at the table when he walks into the bar.
Oh, no. Then I saw that scene
there.
happen again. Okay.
So he took it.
Okay.
And he, it stuck with them and he started redrawing it everywhere and everyone thought he was going crazy. And then as you find out, like, he wasn't supposed to find that.
And what is this map? What is it about this map?
I guess it's not really a map.
The map is self-awareness, right? The map is the apple. Eve eats the apple and now she recognized herself and now she's, insecure or whatever. Or she questions the reality. Is that the biblical story? So this is what's happening with him. He's the first person to question self.
Yeah.
He's the first self-aware robot.
And Hopkins tells him this was like a different idea. Like you shouldn't have seen that. This was like a different idea for a different time.
That's right. I remember that scene. Yeah, with the bear fight.
Right.
And right, it was a bear fight.
It was a bear fight.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And okay, boom. So Hopkins says that to him, and then basically he says, "Look, things are going to happen the way they're going to happen, regardless." Exactly. Yeah, he just said that, and then the dude trusts him.
Yeah, well, got no reason not to. It's the first person to level with him.
Yeah, that's right. He's the first guy who believes him.
Hasn't called me crazy yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, did you see where they had what's the brother-in-law's name? What's Black Cat's brother-in-law?
Oh, yeah, when he was just out there. What was that about? Yeah.
I have no idea.
He was tripping out.
Yeah, he was just out there in the middle of he was just burning. Was he trying to kill himself? What was the point?
Well, no.
I think there was a callback to the
Jimmy
first
Simpson
season.
sends him, when it's younger Man in Black.
Yeah.
One of the last things we see in like that flashback from season 1 is he sends him naked on a horse. So this is supposed to be like right after that.
Right.
Without food,
after
without water.
the falling out that they had.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So
after his like awakening, I was like.
So they're trying to tie little things together, right?
Yeah. They're piecing basically the whole point of this
shows you the timeline.
Yeah, and to show you he's been around like throughout all the stuff that we've been seeing.
Jimmy Simpson, that's when it was 30 years ago, and now he's.
Oh, so this is like another Dolores.
It's just
it's organic Dolores.
It's organic.
They all are. Yeah, they're all.
Dolores was forced, right? Forced self-awareness. This dude, I guess, stumbles upon his self-awareness.
Well, this dude's never been reset. He hasn't been reset. He's just living the life.
Well, they've reset him now.
But had they?
But they haven't updated his physical form, his model. They said he's an Alpha 2, which means that like when he went to go find his girl, or when they took her, they replaced her. That's why she's down below. Because that model of
That's
person
an old.
doesn't exist anymore.
That's why everybody.
So
was
they're
on-
like, yo, how long has it been? It's been 10 years. And that lady doesn't want to go to her boss and be like,
Yeah, we fucked
oh,
up.
yeah, we fucked up this model too. So she's just like, yo, put that motherfucker out there and shut the fuck up. Right?
Yeah.
That's what anybody would do with their
It's
job.
anybody. Yeah, it's a corporate job at the end of the day.
fucking-
You're not assuming it's just going to Westworld's
Just
going to
did
fall
something
apart.
similar on Tuesday. Not AI, but I mean, stakes were a little bit lower.
Okay, so he goes back out there, updated system, still with the memories that he's built up, or are the
Well,
memories
he's still
wiped?
woke, so they can reset him now, but he could still, I think, access them.
So once you're woke, there is no turning you back.
I think so.
Well, no, the girlfriend got woke and then got put down.
I think he's at a different level of wokeness.
Pocahontas.
But she got shut down.
She got shut down completely. If she got put back into the
You think she would
environment,
still remember that?
I mean, look at Jimmy.
They just gave him an update.
Exactly. Yeah,
Like
they
a software update.
That's it.
The hardware's still.
And the memories are still existing, right? Like look at Dolores's boyfriend. Now he's like this badass, James Marsden, whatever his name is, right?
Where'd he get that gear? Like, what
Who's that?
He wear like a metal plate.
Yo, this is badass.
There's something like Metal Gear Solid.
Like the wool blazer.
Yeah.
And now he goes in there.
Yo.
He looks like
Yo,
like a human Terminator.
Yeah, he got it, bro.
Yo, good for
fuck
Marsden,
is that?
though. They finally
Yo.
gave him something to do. Every episode, he's like,
For sure. And yo,
Now he's
remember
finally
we made a joke about how handsome he is?
Yeah.
Yo, Marsden's probably never got to play like the badass running through the hallway shooting motherfuckers up.
yo, what if this
was
Spurs, what if he
good for
becomes
him.
like an action star now?
This was good for him.
Not as charming.
Not as charming?
As a
Yeah.
killer?
I don't
No,
find him as
for sure.
charming. I don't find him even as good looking.
Preferred him in the Notebook.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I didn't even know he was in that.
Oh, yeah,
was
he
he?
was.
Okay, yeah.
He was
I know
the
he
other
was
guy.
like the other guy.
I know he's in the female brain. Plug. Okay.
Yo, which leads us to another thing though, is that like something's gonna go wrong with him. Drastically wrong. That plan's gonna backfire on
All right,
Dolores.
I got a question. When did he switch? So he bangs Dolores.
Yeah.
Then Dolores is pretty much like, fam, you gotta go. You're soft.
She gives him the upgrade.
Because
She
he
gets to
doesn't,
create a
he
player
doesn't
mode.
kill.
She gave him like an upgrade?
Yes.
You don't remember that?
I don't
Yeah.
remember this.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
got the black dude, or there's an Asian dude with him.
No, it was the guy who was now dead who went into the train when it blew up. The
black dude.
That black dude, yeah.
Yeah, so he had a computer. He could upgrade him. Boom, upgrades him. And just make some
All right.
changes. Now, I think it happens because the scene before, she's like, all right, take these people out. And instead of taking them out, he goes, get out of there.
Yeah.
And he recognizes you're not built for this. You're not ready for this life.
Then she asks him. She does the story about the cattle. Remember?
Yeah, it was kind of
And
dope ass story.
it was a
Like
great
what?
story.
Yo.
Yeah, it was like what you would do, and he chose like the soft ass answer, like
Yeah.
I'm trying to protect the herd and blah blah blah. And she was like, yeah, this can't work.
Yeah.
And I guarantee that cattle story will come back.
Is that
Then she
like-
gets to
Goodbye
play
puss?
create a
Goodbye
player
puss?
mode.
Goodbye.
No
She
goodbye
gave
puss.
goodbye-
Make out.
Make out.
No.
Yeah.
They
They
banged.
banged.
They banged. There was a whole like sex scene.
Why wouldn't you
banged.
want to get dicked down by the savage?
They banged.
Do you know what I mean?
No, they banged.
Fuck
And she was
that.
like, by the way, come with me. And then like she had to set up. To,
She
like,
wanted her last like soft loving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True,
Yeah,
right?
she needed that.
She
tender-
wanna
This is
caress.
gonna be the
She
last
did that last
time
tender touch.
she sees that version of that guy.
Fuck.
You know?
Yeah.
And then she's changing him already, right away.
Yeah.
All right, so I missed. I was like, damn.
Now she's getting.
Now she's
freaking
Terminator thing.
And now she's miserable. They never are happy.
waking the name.
Do you know what I mean? They're just never
She's
fucking
never happy. We've never seen Dolores laugh.
Women in general are never happy. It's like you had the guy that loves you, like he's not bad enough. Now you got the badass, it's like he's
Yeah,
killing too many
yeah,
people.
yeah,
It's like maybe it's you, bitch. Maybe it's you. You know what I mean? Fuck, we doing over here, Dolores?
Certainly could be a connection there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's where this really is. Just Nolan complaining about his wife.
So something's gonna.
who he writes with. It was like the
Oh, is
co-creator.
Lisa Joy? His
yeah.
wife? Oh, she
Oh,
gets
they're
that
married?
first
Yeah.
name too. Have you noticed that?
What's that?
Is she a big deal?
I don't know what else.
She gets
she's done.
top billing. I noticed that after every single one, it
Yo,
goes.
but was
Lisa
that? Did they
Joy.
do the same thing on season 1? I'd like to see if they do.
That's a good question.
Ooh.
Right?
see.
Or
Now
they-
it's in fashion.
This is Woke World.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got everybody
Oh yeah,
represented.
she's been around. She was on Pushing Daisies, Burn Notice. Yeah.
Why you
I don't
totally
even know
pushing
what
daisies
that
like
is.
a real thing?
Yeah. What is Burn Notice? These are shows.
Hold on,
What's going on right now?
I know Burn Notice. It was,
Pushing
a,
Daisies-
it was
Daisies
a
was
cheesy
a-
USA show.
Yeah.
I never even heard of Pushing Daisies.
Pushing daisies like it was the Sopranos.
Oh yeah, she's been around Pushing Daisies.
Pushing
oh yeah,
Daisies?
classic.
No,
It's
there's
short-lived.
Driving Daisy,
Driving Miss.
Driving Mrs.
Driving
Daisy,
Miss.
but not Pushing Daisies.
Pushing Daisies was like a short-lived, supposed to be like really good, but it only went one season or half a season.
What is it like? It was fun.
No idea.
It's like
I just
a
heard
show
of it.
without Jonathan Nolan. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Okay.
All right. Check yourself, Lisa. Unless you want to have me play something on your series.
I think that ship
Pushing
sailed.
Daisy.
Season 3. Yeah.
All right, what other big reveals happened?
I mean, it's been a lot, man. That last episode, a lot of shit went down, particularly with Bernard realizing that.
So let's get into.
Oh, we
Bernard.
had.
I feel like I had the most questions about.
Oh,
Bernard.
also, huge reveal. There's like 6 Bernards that are just posting up in that room
There
that they
was
went.
Minimum
17
6.
Bernards.
Yeah. Okay. So between 6 and 17. And then we learned out that these interactions with Dolores were not actually him
Yes.
prepping
Big
Dolores,
reveal.
Yes.
but Dolores
Prepping.
testing Bernard.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I wasn't sure if like that was just a one-off, like that was, or if that was meant to tell you everything that you saw before this was really Dolores checking Bernard.
That's how I took it.
That's what I
I
think.
think
it was.
that's how you're supposed to think.
Was it Dolores checking Bernard?
He was trying to fool her he was saying, if I could fool Dolores into thinking this is Bernard. I mean, this is
It was Bernard.
Arnold.
I mean, it was Arnold checking
Yeah.
Bernard.
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
It was not Arnold. It was Ford.
No, it was Arnold.
Yeah.
Arnold.
Wait, Arnold is creating a fake him.
Arnold was the one. Oh fuck! No, it was
No, it was
Ford.
Ford.
No, it's Ford,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what Ford is doing is he's testing out his own AI
Correct.
on his AI.
Right.
So Dolores is his most sophisticated AI. She's
Correct.
been out in the real world. She knows everything there is to know about Arnold. So he creates Bernard and sees if he can get Bernard as close as he possibly can to himself.
Correct.
Now, and I don't think we've spoken about this. Go.
And he says why it was Dolores, because Dolores spent more time with Arnold than
than
anyone.
anybody else. So she would know.
right?
Exactly, right? And then we'll get, maybe this is the right time, but maybe we'll get to this, right? So I think in either an episode ago or 2 episodes ago, I think the purpose or the initial purpose of Black Hat was revealed, right? The only true way you can recreate yourself is if you put yourself in every horrifying scenario that you would potentially be in. Are you capable of shooting a kid? Do you feel remorseful in that moment? Do you not? He's trying to replicate exact consciousness, right? You can't replicate exact consciousness. Remember they were saying the park isn't studying the robots, it's
So
studying the
robots,
hosts,
yes. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in a situation where you're completely uninhibited, where you would do whatever the fuck it is that you want to do, and then we get your actual makeup, right?
Yeah.
If I'm
Right.
putting you in a situation where you have to lift this weight or else you die, we're going to find out exactly how much weight you could lift.
Right.
So now I know how much you could do. When I put you in a situation where you have a little kid to shoot, and you decide to shoot the fucking kid, we can find out exactly how savage Jimmy Simpson can be. Because think about it. If Jimmy Simpson's character, if his advantage in the business world is being that ruthless, then he needs to make sure that the consciousness that he leaves in Westworld is that ruthless. If it's a nice guy version of himself, he'll get eaten alive. Shoot the fucking kid. Expose every single piece of himself. I think that was Black Hat's goal until it's been switched to.
That's a
destroy
great
everything.
theory, but what prompted that in the last few episodes that made you think that way? Or is that just something that's been brewing?
I think that when he was talking about completing the game, and he was in this game. So for years, he's tried to recreate Delos, and it didn't work. And I think on that same timeline, he's like, I need to recreate me. How can I recreate my consciousness? Give as much fucking data to the system as I possibly can. Put myself through every single level of this park, every single part of the game, every single part of the maze, whatever it is, and follow, what's his name? Anthony Hopkins is Arnold?
Anthony Hopkins is Ford.
Ford, and follow Ford, right? I think, now maybe I'm going out on a limb here, but I think the assumption is Ford knows how to do it, and he's keeping that from me. But if I play Ford's game as well as Ford plays it, if I beat Ford, then I'll have as much of my consciousness as possible to be replicated.
Well, Ford's already done it.
Ford did it,
he's
but
there.
he can't do it to himself. He can't leave yet.
Right. I think the ultimate end game is to leave. The ultimate end game is to get these robots out into the real world.
But if we know that they can't function, why is everybody even concerned? They start falling apart, right? Can't even
but
speak.
that's what.
No. You mean the current robot, like the current AI into the real world,
Yeah.
not one with an altered conscience or a plugged-in conscience.
so
You're
current
saying like
AIs can
Dolores going out
Yes.
to the real world.
Yeah.
So
you know.
making a new consciousness doesn't work in the real world, but an established AI
Yes.
can.
But all right, I got a few questions.
Okay.
One, did you ever think that maybe Black Hat is actually dead?
No.
And he's a host?
No.
That'd be wild, but no.
Why do you think that?
Well, he was acting weird that episode. And then he got...
I wouldn't rule it out based on everything we know at this point.
The episode where his daughter, he has like a heart-to-heart with his daughter. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, so you don't drink out there, but you drink in here? It was almost like a different person, right?
Yeah, but that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Be your truest version of self.
We talked about this before. He's a good person.
But then it was the memory thing. Like, no, that mom was always scared of that park. I loved it.
But we've already
just like.
Well, I just think he wasn't around.
But we've already seen.
He's a deadbeat dad.
So I couldn't tell. Just like that's weird, and I didn't fully think it. But I'm just like these are some weird like obvious softball things that's thrown out there, and I couldn't tell if it was they're trying to show he's a deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of been fucking beat to death that this guy's a fucking dad.
I think what they started to do with him is they started to make him likable, and we started to root for him a little bit.
Right.
So before he gets shot up, he needs to be a piece of shit.
Exactly. I've been rooting for him. That's not enough to have you fucking turn on the character.
Maybe not you.
Shit.
No, but he was
the general public.
But I don't think anyone was really like super sympathetic towards him at that point.
Sure.
Right?
I just feel like, I don't know, as far as story arc goes, don't you need to do a little bit?
I just wanted to see if that I just want to see if there's a possibility of that. Second thing is,
there is.
They keep talking about you want the like real people to turn into us. Right? What does that mean?
I don't know.
They keep said it was said like Ford said to Arnold.
Yeah, that's what
that's what I'm saying.
They want to be able to extract your consciousness. That little fucking ball of red shit that they're taking out of their heads. They want to be able to recreate your brain
and just keep living in the simulation
and keep putting it in a new body.
In a new body.
I mean, this is
in an avatar.
It's the future of.
It happened in Avatar, right? It happened in that show, Altered Carbon, right? Like this is the conversation. I think even in science, it's like our bodies break down because that's what the fuck bodies do.
Yeah.
But if we can create a vessel to put this consciousness shit in, we can live forever.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why we can't keep going. We just have to find a way to extract all the data. But unfortunately, there's so much fucking data in here, a computer can't even... I mean, eventually...
Not for extended periods of time. We've seen that.
Remember Johnny Mnemonic when he had like 3 megabytes in his head? And they were like, how are you doing this? You got a megabyte in your head? What are you, insane? They put a terabyte in your fucking thumbnail?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so I think it's we talked a little bit about singularity, this idea that it's AI and consciousness or this tech in the robots and human consciousness reaching a.
Is Ford physically dead?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's living in that consciousness.
Yeah. But I thought it was really cool when they show Bernard and that shooting the people up in the Dallas facility, and they cut like between slow-mo shots. It was Ford and then Bernard.
What do you think
this is in the beginning of the episode?
No, this was
last episode.
He's in his head.
No, it's him controlling him. He's like controlling him. He literally had this line. He goes, "Don't feel guilty. You're not controlling this. I am." He literally says that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Goodbye." And then Bernard blacks out, which he's done before. In season 1, we saw him do this, like when he kills that chick. His girlfriend.
The show's just giving you a visual so you can see what's going on in Bernard's head at that moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's not really there.
I mean, this kind of goes to an interesting conversation of like a responsibility for your actions. Like, there's people who have experienced like major trauma in their life. Somebody has given them this fucked up trauma. And because of this trauma, they do these horrible, violent acts to other people. But is that their responsibility? Or is it completely out of their control because of this fucked up trauma?
So you're saying, is Dolores really bad, or is she just a reaction to all the traumatic things that have happened?
Is Dolores Charles Manson?
She's a virus. She's a computer virus.
Okay, but fair enough. Fair enough. She's a computer virus. But what about someone like Charles Manson who like was had raped a bunch as a kid and all this? Yeah, kind
this all goes back to like our that big free will debate we had. Right.
It's like how much free will do you have when you're getting raped as a kid?
Right. I mean, something breaks.
Something fucking breaks. So is that the did she catch the virus?
Dolores.
Yeah. Is the repeated trauma?
Yeah, no, I think the question is, I think this is why Ford is leaving it open-ended though, right? It's like to see how Dolores like eventually reacts, right?
Like what does she do with her power?
When she has that little brief meeting with Maeve, like they kind of have that like discussion of like, well, what are you really doing? Like you fucked with him. Like, is that really like what you wanted? Like this outcome?
Yeah.
Sweet pretty handsome boy over there is now like this raging murderous machine. Like, is this your version of a world that you want to be a part of? And then she looked at Maeve, like Maeve was kind of weak because she went back and tried to get her daughter, and you know what I mean? So it was like, I kind of saw that as like Maeve is kind of what the ideal situation would be for these woke hosts, and Dolores is still kind of growing. Like, they're also kind of like infants in a way, right? Like, they're growing into their free will.
So
and
Maeve is Professor X, and Dolores is Magneto.
Yeah.
More or less, right? Same kind of goal.
One's a little bit more militant and not accepting.
Malcolm and Martin.
Right. Right. Yes.
Kind of.
Yin to the yang, always.
Fair enough.
Right.
So that's going to be the final duel.
It seems like it's going in that direction. Although we now know that Maeve is like, and also her superpowers actually is pretty close to Professor X. So
Literally the same.
Another one.
Lisa, Jonathan, you're running out of ideas over here.
So there's that.
She shows up in a wheelchair next episode. She can't walk.
That's fucked up. It's within a range of outcomes that she's in the wheelchair based on her current situation.
She speaks with her English accent. Like, what the fuck is happening?
So anyway, to go back to one of the things you said, though, I always looked at Black Hat as like he was like the catalyst trying to spark something in the game.
Yeah, he was provoking the trauma.
Not that he was trying to put himself in those scenarios to be as bad as he could, but like that he was making those traumatic events as traumatic on the host as possible to elicit a reaction from them that was beyond their programming.
So you think that
That's why he kept doing it. When he grabbed Dolores and
we've talked about
how
that
many
before,
fucking times are we going to do
But
this?
that's what I thought until I realized that
They're collecting data.
The park is a collection of data on the humans, not the hosts. And once I realized it was a collection of data on the humans and this idea of recreating consciousness to live forever, I started going, well, what would he want to do? And how can he do this? How can he recreate himself? How can he find himself, right? You go to this park to find yourself. He's finding how savage he can possibly be to a certain extent. But maybe, because isn't it look like he changed his position? Like, he had this one objective at first, and now he's like, no, this is bad. I've had this realization. I'm shutting down the whole park.
I don't think he thinks this is bad. I think this is exactly what he wanted.
Oh, so he hasn't had any change of
I don't think
heart.
So. No.
He's always been trying
I think how you saw that with his daughter. Because he could have been like, we're out of here, let's go, fuck it. But he couldn't.
No, he wants to keep playing the game.
Yeah.
He wants to get to the end of Ford's game.
Why?
Because this is what he's been waiting for. He wants the stakes to be real.
He's a gamer.
He's a gamer. He's a billionaire. He's got everything. What else is he going to do?
This is Fortnite.
Yeah. He's been playing like Fortnite for like 10 days.
Out there.
And his daughter's like, Dad, stop playing Fortnite. And he's like,
but something happened to him.
No,
don't know
what
yet.
Marco just said is what happened to him. He can't lose out there.
Yeah, can't lose
There's
out there.
no fucking stakes for him in real life.
And then he's in this game and he loves it so much, but he can't lose in there either, really.
Yeah, we're also going to
He's trying to break the host to the point where he can lose. Now he can finally fucking lose. He's living his dream, and then
I feel like it's more than that. I feel like it's more than that. I feel like he has got other shit going on, and I feel like it's not just, I'm just a rich guy and I just I'm looking for something else to conquer. There's a purpose to this, to all this.
Sure.
More than just he's a rich guy looking for something to conquer.
Well, we said this before.
He's not just a bored guy.
He's going for 100% completion.
Yeah.
He's going for 100%.
He's going for that
completion.
achievement. The golden egg.
I'm not saying that there's something else that traumatic didn't happen in the outside world.
Well, we're going to find out next week, by the way.
Everything that's
Why
happened
do you
with
think
The
next week?
preview. Because they showed the preview. It's all Ed Harris. It's all flashback Black Hat.
Still, like, I think that we're not getting that till the end.
Okay, maybe. Or maybe they'll
There's
start
2
to...
episodes left.
They're coming back for season 3? Have they announced season 3 yet?
Yeah.
They'll
We're
do
not getting
season
it.
3.
Yo, they showed the preview. It was all Ed Harris.
It's all Ed Harris, which I'm pumped for. It's
I'm
my
not
favorite
saying
part.
we're not gonna get. I'm just saying we're not gonna get the answer to that question. Like, what the fuck is the purpose for you, Ed Harris?
No,
I think we're going to know.
We
have to know going into...
He's saying that we're going to find out probably more of his backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to find out what happened in the real
Specifically,
world. that was
it is
so fun.
flashback.
His wife.
It's
Yeah,
him,
I said because you saw his wife.
Yeah.
Right. So that
Who
we're
I
going to find
presume to
out.
be his wife.
But I mean...
But we all knew it was his wife. Right?
And what was in the preview was something about you saw the park exposed something fucked up inside
of
me,
you. Yeah.
and the daughter was the only one to see it.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever had that? Have you ever been like with a girl or something like that, and like she sees through the act that you kind of put on? Like, it's easy to charm these girls, but for whatever reason, this one chick, she sees right through the bullshit.
Yeah,
and
you
maybe
love that girl,
and
that's the girl that you fall in love with.
Yeah. You're like, well, fuck you, bitch.
Fuck you, bitch. You ain't never believe in me.
Okay, so back to what you were saying about the 100% completion, right? He wants to finish the game. He finally is enjoying his life, right? There's no joy in the outside world.
Yeah.
There's no joy in the inside world. Finally, with some stakes, he's maybe not joy, but there's purpose. There's excitement.
Well, we see all season 1. What we're really seeing is him going from he gets enlightened by this game, right? Jimmy Simpson, when it's flashback, he finds himself in that. He finds this excitement in living this life in Westworld, and that's what he's been trying to kind of maintain for 30 years since then. He's been trying to hold on to that because he has that in that world.
Because
we don't know much about him outside of the world, but we know that he was like a successful.
He was a cuck until Westworld.
Yes, yeah.
The game turned him into a man.
Into the businessman that he ended up becoming.
Whoa, maybe he relies on the game
to inform his real life.
Maybe the game allows him to remind him how savage he could be. You know, like there's if you don't go on stage for a few weeks, you can forget if you're funny, and then all of a sudden you go on stage, oh no, I got this. But you need the constant.
We all feel like that.
You know what I mean?
We all feel like that.
All of us.
Very relatable. Circumstance.
I often think, man.
All right, how about this?
I haven't been on the stage in so long.
You haven't hooped. You haven't hooped for like 3
basketball,
weeks, right? Right.
I know what you're saying.
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
at least for me, it's something in my
It's
life.
like when I haven't played in the game 4 of the finals recently. I feel like, can I still play basketball? No, yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
I just need constant reaffirmation.
So you post it on Instagram and then you let your boy get roasted for...
No, just dribble the ball, son. Like, it's not that hard to dribble a fucking ball. Like, you clearly didn't dribble the ball twice. You think you would learn your lesson after not doing it the first time, right?
A lot of people can go from the corner 3 to the basket with no dribbles. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, dude. It's all
It's
good.
fine.
Yeah.
No, you're in that.
Everyone
Yeah.
know if you...
No, it's cool, bro. You have a great,
welcome.
long step. You're like, Luke Mbamute or something.
Quite obvious I took a
Yo,
dribble.
Marco is so fucking heated,
So
dude.
mad.
So heated.
Amazing.
But it's when you learn your lesson. You learn how to dribble. So look. He tight, bro. He tight.
I'm tight about that. I'm tight about the fact that it's obvious I took a dribble because you can't see it, and then I'm tight about the type of people that were commenting on not being able to play ball.
Yeah.
When they clearly didn't have an athletic bone in their body to begin with, either. Because I checked some of their pages.
Yo, he's been deep. You can tell he's been deep in the comments.
That was your black hat. You went full Jimmy Simpson.
It's this is the most unathletic basketball league I've ever seen. And then you check your page and he's got a double chin and no ankles. You know what I mean?
Ankles.
Yo, when Marco does have a daughter one day, she's gonna be like, "Dad, stop reading the comments. Get out of the comments."
Oh, I'm gonna be in the comments. I don't believe that shit.
She's gonna have to go find him in the comments.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, I'll post pictures of our basketball league sometimes on my Instagram. Not
Sometimes
pictures,
videos.
videos of the basketball league on the Instagram. And one, you can check it out. Look, just scroll down to Instagram. You see Marco. Great pass by me 2 times. Phenomenal passing. 2 times. And then Marco.
Great off the ball movement. I'm cutting in these leagues, you know.
Good work.
Not-
Definitely cutting.
But when you have the ball, it's a different movement
dribble.
than when you.
Yeah,
than
I know.
when you do.
Dude,
have
it's
the
a
ball.
lot
So
to
you
think
gotta
about,
think
cutting and dribbling. I get it, bro. It's like,
And finishing.
How you and finishing?
finishing.
Do you know what I mean? And finishing with the left on the right side.
Yeah.
Like that's
And then
Really
levitating
fade
as he did.
and then also falling to the ground like a paraplegic.
I was
like
looking
that
for a call.
is
I was looking for a call. All right? I was looking for a call. I'm European.
I'm European.
That's how we do it.
Never been to
You guys never seen a soccer game before? Come on.
Europe.
Right? Let's get on the ground.
Give the real reason. This is only relatable to older people. But when you jump up as a 30-year-old.
No. Well,
Say it.
yes.
Say it.
The brain doesn't talk to the leg the way it used to.
Yep.
And when you jump up, you got to brace for impact too. Because I was bracing to hit that kid behind me.
Right.
And he pump faked his jump and then I didn't absorb the contact, and then now I'm a guy in his mid-30s in the middle of the air.
We're going down.
Gotta go zero gravity.
You gotta go
zero gravity.
Zero gravity.
I can't play it.
Yeah, that's it. It turns into...
these ligaments anymore, right?
Dude, because...
I'll take the bruises, not the torn ACL.
It's a torn ACL, or it's a torn... It's not... Or it's Achilles. It's an ankle.
Meniscus.
It's an ankle.
It's an ankle.
For me, it's the ankle.
I'm less worried about
ankles. If I come down on a foot, it's over.
It's over.
That's it.
So the whole thing's going down.
Boom.
Whole
Shut
show.
it down. Shut it down. Okay, House of Cards.
All right. Anyway.
Back to Westworld.
Yeah, back to Westworld.
All right.
Talk to us, Hani.
This cradle.
Okay.
By the way,
I'm confused. The cradle confuses me.
Looking room. They set that up. That was visually a dope looking thing. The cradle houses all the conscious.
And it's where
it's the data and the backup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has it's everything. It's their
So this is a big reveal.
it's the data ware.
That was a big reveal from the
the hosts don't care about the backups. They don't want to live forever.
Yeah, they're willing to risk it.
They're willing to risk it.
Yeah. Now,
without the backups, without the backups, now they're real.
Well, wait for it.
They're real. Without backups, you're now real. Like when they die, they die. There's no stakes.
That's what they wanted.
Yeah,
that's what they wanted. So they burned it all down.
But
did they burn it down? That was my question.
Yeah,
Explode that bitch.
It's gone. Now,
did you see it explode?
Exploded.
Or is it just
Done.
like
It's done.
Didn't love that scene. Like to go from a kill or kill be situation and then to get seduced was a little strange to me.
Son, how stupid was that?
That shit was tough to watch.
How stupid was that?
That shit was tough to watch.
I thought it was.
Oh my god!
Super
You saw
lazy.
her. First of all, that whole shit was dumb. Why was she just standing like that?
Super lazy.
Right.
Super
also,
lazy.
how much did you love her monologue about the perfect woman? Like sexy, but not.
Never once did.
It was really a
Like
critique.
smart, but not intimidating.
Yeah.
Sexy, but not.
It was really
whatever.
a critique on how trash men are and how easily manipulated we could be.
I mean, we know Lisa
I was a
wrote
little
that.
offended.
Yeah, that was Lisa's.
Yeah,
right
you know,
there,
Jonathan was like, "All right, put it in, you fucking ass." Christ, all right, we're pathetic. Yeah, we'll fuck anything. Yeah, there's no fucking way, bro. Like, first of all, you're
No
fucking
shot.
whatever pussy you want because you could fuck. Yesterday, you were fucking. It was a robot. You were fucking.
Right
It's
up,
easy.
Would have walked right up to her, two in the coconut.
That's it.
Keep it moving. Out of here.
Two in the coconut.
Can't have that.
That was such a dumb scene.
Bro, it was so
ridiculous.
bad, dude. It was easy. It was cheap. It's like they didn't have some sort of device. What would you have done? What would you have done in that scene?
I would have had her hide behind a fucking conscious rack and kill him. Like, that was so unbelievable. Like, he's chasing her and all of a sudden she's just standing there.
No,
with her
she
gun
literally
out.
turns like this. She's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was so dumb. And then he just like, what's up, boo?
He turns into the dude on the block.
all she had to do is grab his gun. And
Damn, shorty. Okay, yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Like, it was just fucking retarded.
Bro, maybe that was something speaking on the fact that like women have that
power.
powerful control.
Yeah.
Right? Like what is it? Ford has this control all over all the AIs. But if you're a hot chick, you're basically Ford. Right? It's like, I want to walk in the club without waiting online. And bouncer's like, okay, you can walk into the club. I will remove the rope for you.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, if you're a hot
I don't
chick,
have free will.
yeah, literally, if you're an attractive girl,
Your whole life.
we don't have, maybe.
I don't want to do my homework.
Dude,
I will do your homework.
you know who wrote that fucking scene? Nolan. After cheating on Lisa. Dude, that's what that was. Brilliant, Jonathan. Brilliant. You couldn't control yourself.
All right, I'll buy it.
Wow.
Men don't cheat.
I mean, men don't cheat. That is a fact. You're absolutely right. Forget it. Yeah. Crazy
It also
ass.
says the amount of chances we'll give hot chicks. Right?
It's unbleable.
It's amazing.
One of you
how many
dead.
chances we'll
One
give
of
hot
you
chicks.
are my enemy. We can fuck real quick.
Yeah.
Let me get some head. Then we'll kill you.
You know how many careers of just like, because the chick's hot and we're just going to keep giving her as many chances as possible.
Talk about it. Who is it? Portia de
Megan
Rossi.
Fox is one probably.
Dude, Megan Fox is so hot
So hot.
that we forgive her midget thumbs.
Right?
Did you know that she has that?
Yeah.
Midget thumbs?
Oh, do you know
never noticed
that? Dude, she got Tyrion hands.
No way.
This thumb right here and this thumb right here look like they were just hit with sledgehammers.
They're smaller or they're fat?
Short, fat, they're about half the size.
Megan Fox.
What about the rest of her
midget
fingers?
thumbs?
The rest of the fingers are fine. And if you get like a fake acrylic nail, you can kind of cover it a little bit. But it is a thing. It is a little thing. Look it up. Did you look it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Changes everything. Changes
I mean,
everything.
there's a whole blog. It's called Megan Fox's Freaky Thumbs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we didn't have to go freaky
Yeah,
with
I
it.
mean, that's
You know what I mean?
Freaky's not less defensive than midget.
Well, no, midget is what they are.
Oh my God.
Stat. Yeah, you are a stat. Yeah, you see it? Look at it.
It literally looks like...
that actually looks like it was cut off.
Yeah, she got circed. Dude, she did.
Oh, she's talked about it. She doesn't talk. She's like looking at her thumbs.
Yeah, she owns it. Yeah, no one cares. Sorry.
You can own it when you're fucking
So everything
11.
Delos has tried to build is gone now.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well,
they've been just keeping the consciousness of everyone. Those are human consciousness too, right?
But
dude, where is the federal government
all,
regulation in all this?
This is all part of Ford's plan.
Is this? I don't know. Maybe it's all.
This is one of my problems.
Maybe it's not known.
But like, how long could this be not known for?
I don't know, dog. You didn't know Facebook was stealing your fucking data for that long. Like, I don't get it.
But the government did.
It's a great point.
What?
We didn't know Facebook was stealing our data.
Yeah, we did. We just didn't know we were selling it.
Well, let's think about it. Facebook wasn't even letting us
Alexa,
fuck girls.
Google, they're all stealing our data. They're all just listening to us 24/7.
That's not mass
compiling.
casualties.
What up, yo?
Yo, I get targeted ads. What up, FBI guy?
Yeah,
Megan Fox's thumbs. Check it out.
It's like every time a Tesla has a breakdown on the road, you hear about it in the news. Like,
yeah, because the other companies don't want Tesla to win. That's what it is.
I get that, but my point is that like, this
do you know how many Fords just the steering doesn't work one day?
I don't know. I guess my problem with the show is it asks you to take quite a bit of leap of faith with some of the things that are going.
Fair enough.
Sure.
The one
we don't know. Maybe the government does know.
Exactly.
And they
Maybe,
signed off on it.
The one issue I have with the show is
AIs are not like wrong. Like we're building AIs.
Yo,
right, but it comes with regulation.
We also don't know where in time we are. Like what the present is
in the real world.
Are we in a post-political world?
What if it is? What if we don't know how far in the future we are?
That's actually pretty interesting.
I think we're not even that far in the future.
I think we're pretty far.
40 years. I think we're 40 years.
That's pretty far.
I mean, look, they still got the same boots.
In Westworld.
Yeah, right? It's like you got like buttons for your shirt. Yeah, but there's no like fancy clothes. Like when they show up. Nah, not fashion is fashion. Son. You're not wearing a bustier.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like think about it, right? They're all dressing when they show up to Westworld relatively similar. When you show not when you show up to the park. I'm saying when you show up in the subway.
The only time we've seen that was the one time with Jimmy Simpson.
And Jimmy Simpson
he doesn't
rolled
have
up rags.
good fashion sense.
So what, he just dressed like 100 years ago?
That was also 30 years ago.
Fam, if you were walking around with a top hat, it would be commented on.
Well, he didn't have a top hat. He picked it up when he got it.
I'm saying you personally, if you were dressing like Abraham Lincoln.
Well, he's 6.
And now,
actually,
2018.
I might be able to pull it. That might be my look.
It would still be commented on. There'd at least be someone be like, oh, nice hat.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's that far. I think, all right, 40, 50 years, something tops.
The other technology side by side with the AIs seems to be far less
advanced, right? The guns, much the same.
Pretty much the same. Well, no one's got a fucking cell phone somehow in this entire fucking show.
Yeah, they got the iPads.
They got
these screens that just shoot up into the air. Like when they're on a computer, there's no like screen. It's just like a thing that just like pops up.
All right, but we got that with the keyboards on iPads now.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Also, the elevators and shit seem pretty normal. Like those things that pop up out of the ground, they're like slow.
It's like regular hydraulics.
Yeah, you're still using water.
I'm just saying we don't know the landscape out there. We don't know what it's like.
We don't.
Politically, technologically.
There's certain things you have to give up, right?
Yeah.
I'll give that up for this show. I'll suspend disbelief on the government not being aware of it, right?
Sure.
I'll do that. Fine. Because technically nobody knows except that one chick that they're there to extract the data.
Maybe we find out the government's completely aware of it and they're a part of this,
What's in Dolores' dad?
So originally we thought it was Ford, but now we know it's not, right? We thought it was Ford's concept.
I thought it was all the data.
Is it a backup on the cradle?
No. Well, that's what they're saying. That's what Tessa Thompson's character is saying.
It's a cradle backup.
But we don't know what it,
I don't think, I think it's something more specific.
One guy?
Hold on.
Yeah, in Abernathy.
The cradle had, I thought, the backup for all the host
They don't
data.
give a fuck about the host. They care about the people.
Yeah, it's all the data of all the stuff that's been collected over the years.
But I thought the cradle specifically had the backups for the hosts. That's why when they destroyed it.
Not the host. I think of
Cradle's host.
No, so then that's what Abernathy is.
So Abernathy
it's the data
is the data of the park
users.
guests.
Yeah.
So so let me just understand this here.
I'm pretty sure that's it. Like, I don't even think that's actually ambiguous.
I just want to understand it. You need an entire Costco-sized room to store the data for the same hosts, right? You need an Abernathy's brain to store.
This is a fair question.
To store the data
because you're talking about host
thousands upon thousands of new people over the last,
you're
20
about
years.
Data
Abernathy
versus mind.
Versus real software. Like, it's all the host backup.
It's just
their
code.
Backstory. It's their code. It's all that shit. The data is the analytics of the stuff that they've been witnessing from all the park guests.
It's not the consciousness of
It's not their backups.
Yeah.
They're people.
I really hope there's a tech dude listening to this. Like, these guys have no fucking clue.
I'm
how much storage.
Regular dudes listening to this one. These guys have no clue. The last thing I'm worried about is a tech dude.
Listen, analysis does not take as many gigabytes.
Like singularity.
All right?
Yeah, singularity.
So Cradle had no...
Doing the coconut, I'm done.
I try and give a well thought out answer, and this is what I get back with. Jokes.
It was good.
And ethnic stestereotypes.
Doing the coconut is so fucking funny, bro.
Doing the coconut one in the bush, hey. So I didn't say that. I made no reference to bush. This was not a man-woman thing.
It's so good.
Like, those aren't boobs?
No, I meant the head.
Relax.
He comes back to the guys. Hey, what happened? Put two in the coconut, guys. We're good. I want to see how the scene goes if Marco's the guy. I want to see how it goes. Hey, Cradle's safe, but a coconut ain't because she got two in it.
But his dick's out.
Marco, you've been hitting the coconut again?
After I put some holes in the coconut, I had to fill them up. What am I supposed to do, right? What am I supposed to do?
All right. The Bernard, he comes back.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about Bernard.
He comes back.
Fuck Bernard.
Two in this coconut. Everybody's getting
Every host.
I'm so sick of Bernard's confused all. What's happening? Son, I'm so tired of that face. Get the fuck off the screen, bro. You're either in or you're out. Pick one, dog. Yo, Jesus.
That's a very good impersonation. Yo, every host.
It's so true. He hasn't had a clear thought in 6 episodes.
Take your fucking glasses off, too. We know your vision's fine.
He's a fucking robot.
15 of you. I didn't think they gave all of you fucking 20/20 vision by now.
This is the first thing I would do. Hey, open up the laptop. Just fix the fucking cataracts, would you? Appreciate it. Walking around the desert with bifocals.
I mean, come on.
All right.
And fix my pigeon toe. Would you mind doing that?
Every host is getting smarter, more independent. Bernard's just getting dumber by the fucking episode.
It's so true.
It's
so
amazing.
bad.
So do you know when he comes back, Tessa Thompson pulls him back at the end and he just spits out, yo, Valley of the Beyond.
Yes.
I forget what he said was there.
They've all got different names for
we
it.
don't know what he said.
But we don't.
We never heard him say it. Tessa Thompson could be lying about what he said. You know that scene when we were behind the glass from the perspective of the other people that are the security for Delos, and we just see him mouthing something to Tessa Thompson, her face lights up. I think he told her something that she's not telling everybody else about the location of the.
What is the Valley of the Beyond? Because I feel like that was said a few times.
That's where everybody's going, right?
I think it's what we saw in this episode.
The door?
That's the door.
The door.
Yeah.
That's the door.
But where does that go? That's where like the train drops you off when you like.
We don't know.
Real
We
world.
don't know.
I think it's the real world.
It's like the hatch and Lost. Like we don't know until we know, and then we're gonna be disappointed when we do know.
That's true.
You know?
That maze, after seeing that
You didn't
maze
watch-
100 times today, is it like a closed circle in the middle?
It's a coconut. No.
Is it a like in the middle? It looks like there's a person holding like I don't know. Was it a closed circle? Like what the like? How? Did you
I
get
couldn't
to
really
the
tell what
center
was
of
going
the-
on in there. To be
I
honest
don't
with you,
In what?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
In what?
In where?
In what?
The maze that they just kept seeing in tonight's episode.
Yeah.
You've seen a bunch of times.
Yeah,
on
you've
the
seen
show.
Yeah.
Is the center? Is it closed? Like, can you actually get there? You remember those games?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
with the little ball,
Yeah.
But it looks like the center is actually like a closed circle.
So you
Oh,
can't.
whoa. You're talking about the map thing or the thing, the physical site you actually
maze.
saw?
He's talking about
No,
the maze
the
that
maze,
keeps
the
popping
maze.
up.
I don't think the maze is no longer a representation of the.
It's just a symbol for like we talked about. Like
It's a
game
symbol
consciousness.
for awakening.
Yeah.
It's not really the maze to the door.
It's not.
Type
It's
thing
not a
anymore.
map.
It's not a map anymore.
Right. It's just.
We didn't know that before, but I think now we know it's not a map.
But what it is a map for consciousness.
Right.
So if you follow this maze, you will find self-awareness.
Right. So
But
what's the
not
Valley of the
physically
Beyond?
follow.
Did you answer it? I'm sorry.
There's like
it's that.
four
What we-
different
I think
names
it's what
for
we
it.
saw.
Can you explain though
Aki.
what everybody has a different name?
Everybody has a different name because they're finding their own like end game in this valley. It's like all pointing. Like Maeve is pointed towards the valley, and Dolores is pointed towards the valley, and the Man in Black is trying to get to the valley. Like it's like the final point of.
He's trying to
whatever
get
they think.
there before they get there, right? Man in Black is I want to get there, shut it down so they can't go to the real world. No?
Possibly.
That's his saving grace. I'm going to right my wrong by protecting humanity and
Or he just
shutting
doesn't
this
want.
down.
It's my game. I don't want
What
anybody
did
else to play the game.
Bernard tell that girl? Elsie?
Yeah.
Didn't he say something to her about the Valley of the Beyond too? Wasn't he like, we gotta go to the Valley of the Beyond?
You know he's lying though, because
He's lying.
as soon as he comes back, we know that it's
just trying to get
Anthony
rid of
Hopkins
him.
talking.
Remember Arnold says you got to
He's
get
like,
rid
you
of
gotta
him.
get rid of her.
Yeah.
So he's sending her there.
But I think it was just to say something to get him out of his way for right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That's not just coincidence that everyone's going to the Valley of the Beyond now.
No, everybody's been on their way to the valley from the beginning of the season. They're all
So what is it?
I think we don't know yet, but the closest thing I would point to is what we saw today, where Aki sees this.
Like how does everyone know which direction to go?
Yeah, well, they built
It's a
the motherfucker.
place on the map. It's like the
Yeah.
It's like an
it's on the
actual
map, but it's
place.
not on the map. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we're all setting up for a showdown at the Valley
so.
of the Beyond.
I think we're going to see Dolores and Maeve face off. And I think we're going to see the Man in Black.
How
and,
is Maeve
and
doing-
Bernard / Ford face off?
Like May's laid up right now. Like you think she's going anywhere?
Well, I mean,
She can
something's
control-
going to happen.
We know that she's there.
Are they gonna
She-
fix her?
Well, I think she's going to be remote there, but she's going to be controlling. She's controlling that little girl.
No, she can.
She can hop around.
Yeah, she can do whatever the fuck she
It's
wants.
going to be Maeve and Arnold going at it.
Maeve and Bernard.
Arnold, no, Ford. I think it's going to be Maeve and Ford.
No,
going
because
back.
Ford wants Dolores to be doing what she's doing, right?
Right, but if Maeve doesn't,
So you
But
think?
Maeve doesn't.
I
But
don't know if Ford wants to.
No, I think he does.
So you think?
everything, this is all according to Ford's plan. This is all part of it.
Ford definitely wants this.
He wants this, but Man in Black, I think it's Man in Black versus Ford.
Correct. At this point, yes.
Yeah, and Maeve, because Maeve is kind of like Maeve is the closest thing to human sympathetic, like good
That we have.
that we have in a host, right?
Okay.
Correct.
The timeline of when Bernard was shooting the place up
Yeah.
and to when he snaps out of it and he's telling Tessa Thompson.
Also, the valley could be. We've already seen the valley, and it's the water filled with all the dead hosts, and that's 2 weeks from now, or we're in the middle of.
Yeah. So
how that gets to that. You got to remember that we've already seen. When we see Bernard in the first episode, in the cold open of the first episode of this season, and Bernard's looking and he starts crying. He says, "I think I did this," and it's all the dead hosts in the water.
was
That's
2
after
weeks.
all this shit.
2 weeks.
That's after the events of
So that's
what's happening right now.
let's connect these timelines that we
Yeah.
right. So dead hosts in water.
Dead hosts in water is the last, the most recent thing we know about. Like it's the if we're looking at a timeline, and this is the end.
All right.
That's
When
right.
is
We're
Bernard-
like here.
We're like
traveling towards
moving
that.
here.
When is Bernard? When does Ford have control of Bernard? He's shooting up Delos.
This is
That
somewhere
whole scene.
between Ford gets killed and all the hosts are in the water.
And then when is Tessa Thompson? When is he telling Tessa Thompson allegedly Valley of the Beyond?
That's right now.
That's moving on this
That's
path
dope.
towards the.
Do you feel like that when this show started, like season 1, episode 1, the timeline, like you had young Jimmy Simpson, young Black Hat, old Black Hat, and now we're kind of like the timelines on both ends have just kept going in, and now they're converging?
The fuck? I'm so confused by that.
No, I know.
Yo, son, you all right? No.
No, I feel it.
Hold on. You okay, yo? No.
Yo, he went like this. It was an audible sigh, short of.
No, that was a lot there. That was like years. That was years of friendship. Like Haney wrote that note on his phone, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna unleash this shit right at the right time. I'm gonna blow these dudes' minds. The timelines are conversion. We got one timeline, and then Marco just put 2 in your fucking coconut.
Yo,
right?
he's been reading the comments, and they're like, "Yo, Haney doesn't have any theories," and he's like, "I got one theory." He's like, "I got this one."
Maybe I don't understand what you were saying.
No, I'm actually into what you were saying.
Before we were jumping back and forth.
Now the timelines are getting closer. You're saying,
everything is
yes.
like I felt
Okay.
like from Bernard shooting up to Tim talking to Tessa Thompson was actually like very close.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting close.
Even within hours.
But then every once in a while we jump back. Native American was super long, right?
Well, because we're looking at...
Now you're going at a
Yeah, but that's a different story.
We're looking at
it's a backstory.
But that brought you right up into right now. Maeve laying in the hospital, talking to Native American dude who's talking to her daughter.
I see what you're saying.
That all came into like the current moment that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're right. The storylines are much closer. They're within weeks or month or whatever the fuck it is.
I think it's less.
Or
days.
Yeah, it depends how you're looking at it. I mean, if you were to break it down, the whole timeline, we've seen that episode when we see Dolores in the real world, that was, you know what I mean, 30 years ago.
Just when you dropped your head, bro.
Fucking just went...
I get it now what you're saying.
Fuck you. This fucking guy. This fucking guy.
All right, I got another one.
I get it now.
I got another one.
All right, go. Give us the hot shit.
I saw this online. I thought it was interesting.
All right.
Tessa Thompson is Arnold's daughter. Right? You know how Bernard keeps thinking about his son that died?
Okay.
He didn't have a son. He had a daughter. But Ford switched it up because he knew he'd see his daughter again and having flashbacks of a dead kid and then having that person as an adult walk in.
But the daughter died.
The daughter's real and she's Tessa Thompson.
Oh, so she never has died.
Right.
And does she know that that's her father?
I would think so.
And she knows that he's an AI or she just doesn't care?
I think we suspected that she knew he was an AI the whole time. She found out he was an AI today. Didn't seem like a big shocker to her.
No, she already knew.
She knew, right?
She knew. Right. That's just a theory. I thought that was interesting.
I like that.
I agree. The timeline kind of adds up. Arnold, this was 30 years ago. She's about 30 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. That's an interesting thing.
Hold up. Now does that come?
And that's why she's also, maybe has a little higher up. It seems like she has a higher security clearance, I guess you could say.
So is she continuing
in the company? I don't know. She was born into it.
Is she continuing Arnold's mission? Like, does she share the same beliefs that Arnold had?
Maybe.
That's interesting.
Wait a minute. So what happens? What happens when... Okay, real quick.
Are you suggesting that because she's a woman, she couldn't have gotten there by her credentials?
She has to be the daughter. Nepotism can be the only answer.
Okay, all right. You want some water? Go for it. Yeah. Okay, so Maeve went back to find her daughter, and it was a different girl.
Mm-hmm.
But she still felt connected to her. Right?
I thought it was the same. It was a different girl.
No, remember? It is
Different mom.
different mom.
Same mom.
Ah.
No.
When Maeve went back.
I want some of your water. The whole bottle.
Leaves me the saliva.
I'll buy you one when we leave.
Fills his fucking canteen. What the fuck is this happening, bro?
I'm dying right now. I need something.
All right.
You weren't drinking it? It was just sitting there.
Yeah, it was. I guess. Yeah.
Wait, I don't get.
Dribble a fucking ball. Dribble a ball.
She was with someone else.
I thought that was a younger version of Maeve.
No. It's just a different host.
Different host.
Yeah.
Just like they put.
Oh
a
yeah,
different
it's a different host.
Yeah.
But was the daughter the same or a different daughter?
Same daughter was the same
daughter.
Okay, fine. Now,
Yeah, because just like
Because that daughter has significant. Like we've seen her.
we've seen her several
they
times.
Communicate-
her to a
They
different role.
moved Maeve to a new timeline.
Yeah.
Well,
And then they gave her a new mom.
Yeah.
So
just
that's-
like the Indian dude's girlfriend got replaced. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
So
So I don't get, but it was the same girl.
no, I fucked up.
I don't get like that's not like a big deal. That's what
To the kid it is. The kid didn't know. The kid looks at Maeve differently.
Yeah,
So
the kid's not
look,
looking at her like, "Yo, what's up, mom?"
But Maeve doesn't look at her differently, right?
Yeah.
Maeve looks
Because
at her
she
as like a
has
daughter
been
because
enlightened.
she has the connection, right? She still has a connection, right? So what I'm trying to say here is once Arnold finds out that Tessa Thompson potentially is his daughter and that he never had a son, he actually has a daughter, does he reroute that affinity to her? And does she start to look at him as the father that she used to have? Does that relationship become real again?
Why wouldn't she done that already?
I don't think
Because she sees him as an AI. She doesn't see them as humans yet. Because what's happening now, have you noticed that like some of the humans are starting to wake up? Like the humans,
like the writer,
right?
Yeah.
The writer has that emotional scene where he's looking after Maeve, right? Now humans are starting to go, oh shit, these robots feel something.
Right.
So the robot's waking up, but the humans are waking up as well. So does Tessa Thompson have that moment with Arnold and go, oh shit, I can actually have my father back. This is pretty close.
Right.
Is that going to happen at the end where she decides to do the right thing? Is that the turnaround? And is that Arnold's experiment the whole fucking time?
Could be. It could be.
Is that Arnold's experiment the whole fucking time? I want to see if I can build this relationship back, put them in this, traumatic environment where she's forced to work with her father, and then she realizes that. Ooh,
that would be just completely that would take us down a road that this whole show is not. I don't know. Could be.
I got no idea where this show is going.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like that would be an interesting end, but I don't feel like that's the end that. People would be mad at that end.
That's the problem with the show, though. I don't think it's a good. I can't tell if it's a good thing or not. I've never been so confused on whether or not I like a show or not.
Same.
Facts.
So I don't even know what's going on.
Fundamentally, and in terms of
because you still don't know who to root for at a very
Conceptually, I love the
root
show.
for it.
Conceptually,
Right.
the idea that a show like this exists and
Right.
we're able to have these discussions, but I do worry, and I made the comparison to Lost, and I was a big fan of Lost, and ultimately completely fucking hated it by the end because they asked all these questions and then they never had any.
You
answers
wasted
for
my
it.
time.
And it was ultimately just a bunch of bullshit, and I started looking for things in the show that just weren't there, and for this,
But they, in Lost, one of the problems was that they started to use fan feedback, right?
it informed what they were, and
that fucked it up, kind of.
Yeah. With this, I want to think that they have something, but it just seems like they keep fucking pushing it towards this thing of we're never going to get it. We're never going to find out.
And when we do, we're going to be really disappointed.
Well, you always are to some extent.
Yeah.
The journey is always better than the end point, and the question is usually always better than the answer. And when you find out the answer, you're like, oh, I kind of knew that all along, and it's oh fuck,
Right.
So hopefully it's not like that.
It's not as good, but even for I feel like
Everybody
Lost was awesome when it started, and then it tailed off, and you were kind of like, what the fuck?
Hopefully
This was never awesome when it started. It was kind of I'm really interested in this. I still don't know what the fuck's going on. I can't tell if I like it or not. Season 1 sometimes it was a little slow. And then now it's chaos.
I thought
But
season
at least
chaos.
it got good. At least it's a really interesting show to watch.
It is interesting.
Those
No
last
doubt.
few episodes,
Very interesting.
The last few episodes before tonight were super fucking you were locked in. It was a lot going on. It was action. It was good stuff going on.
You really can't not be locked in because you will miss.
It's
everything.
incredibly distracting in a good way. I really liked season 1.
I think season 1 was more
It had
cohesive,
lulls, though.
because it introduced you to the world, and you're like, "Wow, this
And it
is
was more
Westworld,
simple,
it's so
right?
cool."
It wasn't-
And it was simple, and then at the end, it's oh, okay, there's this deeper level to this whole thing. Now we're in this deeper level, and it's getting a little too deep, and we're like, "Where the fuck are we?"
Yeah, it's you've taken us into very deep water, and I feel like I'm not paying attention well enough. And a lot of times, I'm like, "Am I missing something? What's really going on? What story?" There's so many stories.
Pacing's weird. This episode tonight was pretty slow, where the guy's like, "Ooh, shakash and ooh,
Yeah.
and you're like, "What the?"
So Jack, why do they do this on shows? Right, they'll build that momentum.
Yeah, and then they have a
And
bottle
then you're
episode.
oh my god! And then they had the bottle episode.
Well, bottle episode's different. Bottle episode is usually a budget thing. In Breaking Bad, the episode with the fly.
We
that was
just
just because
didn't have the
they,
money.
yeah, they just didn't have the money, so they had to keep it in one setting.
But why do they place that? Everyone's tuning in to be all this crazy shit happens.
They have basically in the writers' room, they'll have
why do they bring that momentum? And we're gonna make wait. Is it to build anticipation?
It's probably a pacing thing in terms of the story. They don't want to reveal too much. If you think about this episode tonight, what did we learn? What did we learn tonight? We just learned that Maeve can.
You learned that all the flashbacks Maeve had that you thought that you'd see. You thought that guy was trying to kill her. He was really trying to protect her.
Right, but ultimately what we learned is that Maeve can
Control. But you knew
control.
that. You knew that from 3 episodes
We already
ago.
knew that.
We knew that, but we saw it in action. I still don't even know what we didn't.
Well, we learned that the Ghost Warrior had an organic awakening.
Ghost Warrior was the first woke.
No,
dude.
but yeah, he was the first woke.
Yeah, he's the D-Ray. He's the D-Ray McKesson of Westworld.
But it seems like 4 was surprised.
Ghost Shadow,
He was surprised.
right? It's
He
Ghost
was
Shadow.
surprised.
He was
Not Ghost
surprised,
Warrior.
100%. He was like, I've been watching you, and you've been watching me, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But he's surprised. I think he just Ford noticed it, and then just said, not to fuck with it to see what happened. But he legitimately gained consciousness on his own.
Right. To answer your question, in the writers' room, they were like, all right, we need to do an episode where we explain this important piece of the
Cool,
puzzle.
but why not do it
through?
Why not do it 3 episodes ago? Sorry. Why not do it 3 episodes ago? Why do it at this moment where you're just like, this episode's got to get fucking crazy?
I don't know, man. I think
they just really put the pause.
I think the last 3 were really crazy.
The last 3 were intense.
I needed a break.
Last week was crazy. Right
Listen,
after that.
Halfway through tonight's episode, I was like, yo, this shit is dope. Like, the first 10 minutes, I was like, get the fuck out of here. This is what they're doing?
Yeah.
But then I was like, yo, that actor was really good.
He was
The story was really good.
Yeah.
It was almost like an independent.
Robin the Cradle,
shit like,
huh?
Say what?
That guy's got to be late 50s. His girl was early 20s.
Bro,
by the way, in real life, she's 30 in mid 30s. I looked at it.
Beautiful.
Oh, really?
Beautiful girl.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Julia Jones, something like that.
Is she actually Native American?
She's part Native American, part black.
I saw a real Native American when I went to Kansas City. It was on my flight. Fucking ponytails.
Why you say it
and
like you're
everything,
scared
dude.
though, fam? What? Why you say it like you're scared though?
Dude, you don't see them, bro. It's like a 4-leaf clover, these people. He was ponytails, jeans with the bootcut jeans, the fucking cowboy boots and everything like that. And I was like, I don't know if I kind of wanted to take like a picture and shit, but like I didn't.
Yo, that would have been fucking awful.
That would have been bad.
You should not have said, let me take a picture.
Yeah, but he's hamming it up.
He's in Westworld in his mind.
He's from Texas.
Yo, if you go to the Midwest and stuff like that, like I mean,
see him
or
all
the
the time.
South, I don't know if all the time,
But he was like
a normal thing,
dude. He was like a handsome fucking Native American. He was like the ideal Native American.
A lot of Native Americans have assimilated into like a lot of like communities like throughout the rest of the country, just not around here.
Yeah. So for me, it was
So
exciting.
they're like businessmen and shit like that.
But yeah, you know how like when a black dude goes to China, like Chinese people try to take a picture.
Sure,
with
and
him?
it's fucking. Then they feel all fucking weird about it.
Who does?
The black person that's to take a picture.
Until it's a chick whose cheeks are gonna get cracked.
It's also the black person is also
Your
not
man
indigenous
didn't
to
want
China,
his cheeks
where
cracked.
these people are.
You know, you have a good point about that.
What'd you
know
say?
what I mean? She goes, they're not
They
indigenous
should be
to
taking
China.
pictures with us.
Yeah,
technically.
exactly. But no, you
Keep it
take
a buck.
pictures with shit that's random, right? Like, or that is scarce. That's what it's about.
I don't think it's a good look.
I know it's not a good look, but I don't think there's anything really wrong with
being
it.
7'7".
Yeah.
Well, that actually is kind of.
Really exactly that, kind of. But this is not, I'm not talking about someone who's like half Native American. I'm talking about picture a Native American.
You say he was wearing jeans though.
Son, but like if you saw the outfit, you'd be like, oh, this is like a modern Native American. Like if there was a Native American college, he would be like a cool professor. You know what I mean? Like, but the ponytails, son, no joke, son. The ponytails, literally 2 pristine, perfect, shiny black ponytails coming down like all the way down. It's like his fucking waist, dude. He was a chief, guaranteed. Had to be a chief of the tribe.
They have like, where I'm from, like they've had like Native American festivals and stuff, and like it's just weird, odd to me that this was such a sight for you. I guess
You didn't know the Italians super tolerant of the Native American culture.
No, Rhode Island.
Little known fact.
Rhode Island. I'm right by Foxwoods, bro.
That's true.
I mean, you know what I mean? I'm right
Yeah,
by
but
the
even in
casino.
Foxwoods, sometimes you see them that they don't look like a traditional Native American in Foxwoods. This was like something out of a movie. Like this was scripted, man. And obviously, I'm not going to take a picture, but there was part of me that was like, "Whoa, man! What did you find him?"
I just found a photo of the actual dude.
Let me see.
No, listen, the dude's fine. I like him. I'm just saying he's looked a little old for her.
Oh, he's shredded here. He's way more dad bod
she's
in the show.
37 thing?
Yep.
She looks great for 37.
Yep.
Anyway,
I mean, I'm a little less attracted to her now, but I mean, that's.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I'm just.
a little.
She's beautiful.
Shouts to all the Native Americans, yo. Love y'all. You know, step your ponytails up. This dude was killing the.
I just don't
game.
like it when a non-Native American person plays a Native American role. Personally, I don't. You know.
When did you become fucking
Shut up,
social
fam.
justice
I'm just
warrior,
saying.
Marco? Here?
I was a little worried
She's
that
she's
he was going to
half
take the paint off, and it was going to be Daniel Day-Lewis. Last of the Mohicans show.
Yo,
No,
so
sorry.
next week is episode 9,
Yep.
which is
going to be
say the word because I can't say it.
Ed Harris.
Nope. Starts with a P.
Penultimate.
Thank you.
You can't say that word? Say it.
Penultimate.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm confused.
Penultimate episode.
So
Penultimate
next
is
week,
the episode before the last episode.
yeah.
So it's Battle of the Blackwater.
Battle of Blackwater. So it's always when shit pops off the most on a TV series. Like that's the trend that TV's.
Here's the thing: I'm not back until Monday, so maybe we just
We said next week
recap it in 2 weeks when
Everything's done.
after it's all done.
everything's done.
Yeah. Okay.
That sounds like a good.
That's fun.
Sketch.
It'll probably be better to digest the two together.
Are we too late to do shit like Deadpool? Yeah, listeners, go on Andrew's.
Yeah, let us know.
Go on Andrew's comments and let us know if you still want to
Nah, we ain't got to do Deadpool. We already get it.
Yeah.
What?
I also
like
heard
Deadpool 2 is, I haven't seen it yet. It's supposed to be dope. But
I heard mixed reviews.
What are we going to talk about, though?
Regardless,
we talk about
the first one was the one to review because it was like this. It was a kind of a non-traditional movie.
Can we just give you a solo one to do a solo? Can we give you like a solo ep to just talk about the
I'm not even
solo?
gonna lie. I have no interest in seeing Solo.
I still haven't seen it actually.
That's how you know it's trash.
The only thing I find interesting is that it was actually the first Star Wars that movie that didn't make the money back.
No.
Yeah. It didn't financially, including marketing and budget, they still haven't made their money back. Yeah.
I don't believe
it.
They will.
They will.
They will, but they normally make it back in like a
first
day.
Weekend done,
First weekend. Like this has been the least successful of all the Star Wars movies.
And do you think it'll shut down the series? You don't think they'll continue?
It won't.
No, of course not. But I think
they were going to make a bunch of solos, right?
Well, they were going to give Glover his own movie.
They still
Lando.
will just because of how.
Maybe because of him.
Yeah.
But now I think they're thinking about.
He needs to sign that contract right now.
Immediately.
Because what already got greenlit is a Boba Fett movie, so they're going to do a Boba Fett.
Well, that is cool.
With James Mangold directing.
That is cool though, because that is something you care about, and he was barely touched on in the original.
And there's a cool world and style that you could explore with that.
Wait, who's Boba Fett? The Blob?
Boba Fett, exactly.
No.
The fact that you even have to question who Boba Fett is, he is the assassin who finds Han
He was
Solo.
like the coolest. Like when I was a kid, he was my favorite toy. You know what I mean? Of the
but
Star
in
Wars
the books,
toys.
he's got a big backstory behind him. Right,
and what do you mean?
They're written in the movies 4, 5, and 6. Like it's very, very rarely touched on.
He's just there to transport Solo in the carbonite.
Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, and then he disappears, but he's really fucking cool looking.
Yeah,
Jabba the Hutt's the Blob.
And you know what? There is backstory because we find out that he's Django's son.
Correct.
We don't really know much about him, but from
he's
Attack of the
Clone Wars
Clones.
guy.
Yeah.
Django?
Wait a minute, Django's.
Wait, Django's in Star Wars?
No, Django with the J, no D.
Oh, I don't fuck with that.
Yeah, I don't fuck with no D Django.
Yeah, I like only Django with a D. Okay. All right, fine. So we hit up. We'll check out. I don't know. Maybe we'll have another movie by then. We can. That's coming out.
We could definitely find. I heard this movie Hereditary is supposed to be great. Also, I saw a Quiet
Another
Place.
horror movie.
That's scary.
We're becoming the fucking horror movie club. I don't like this.
We didn't see any fucking horror movies. What did we see?
We saw it.
It. Yeah. What? 6 months.
We should go back because
the horror movie.
Here's the thing. Here's what's interesting. Horror movies.
Oh, real quick, horror movie. The trailer for Halloween just dropped.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be in the new Halloween. We gotta.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm going to be in the new. They're rebooting Halloween. Danny McBride and Joseph Gordon.
David Gordon Green.
David Gordon Green. I can't believe I'm calling him Joseph. But David Gordon Green. And
you're in it.
Yeah, I'm in it. I'm in a quick little scene.
You're a cop, right?
Yeah, I'm a cop in it. But if it does well, basically the way they pitched me on it, they were like, "Hey, listen, we see this character like continuing in the series, so
really?
let's hope it does well." And because they were going to do a local, and then they were like, "No, I want this guy to have something."
That's awesome.
With basically, I have beef with like the lead dude.
Mm-hmm. Who's the lead?
I forget this kid's name. Nice kid though, but I forget. But and his family, it kind of goes back, whatever. Anyway, so I want to see if I can get a screening for us. Maybe we get like Westerbros folks to come out, get like a small theater,
do a
go
live
out,
episode.
a live episode, opening weekend. Maybe I can get some of the guys from the movie to come by.
We gotta do a live episode.
That'd be hot, right?
We got to.
But that's not October. It could be like a little birthday thing. My birthday's in October too.
There you go.
We got to do a Flagrant 2 Westerbros mashup for Uncle Drew.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
Flagrant 2, Westerbros mashup, Uncle Drew.
Annoyed.
And let me tell you something, Marco. You're going to have to dribble that episode. You're going to have to put the ball on the floor. Okay? You're going to have to do it. You're not going to sit there in silence. Try to absorb this. Pound the hardwood.
I'm really excited for the summer season. I've lost a little bit of weight.
Ooh.
All right.
I've gained
Wait, we still got a season to finish.
Yeah, no, we're only like halfway through this current
This
season.
current season's over. I'm not ready for this.
Wait, have I played a single game this current
I
season?
played one game.
I have?
You played like
I
3.
think you've only missed like 2.
Oh, I thought we were over it this season.
Listen, I'm really excited. This park.
Well, now we know where everybody's head's at. Is this?
Listen, we're dropping down a league, bro.
Yeah.
We're dropping down a league. We're too old. We're too old.
No.
Jack,
All right, let's
We
go.
still got work to do, son.
Let's go talk
we
about
get
this
4
offline.
players every game. What is it? All right.
Yo, I had to run the full 48 last week. I was fasting. It was a 7 o'clock game.
Sharif Abdurrahim, let's go.
As soon as we got done, he's like, I need to fucking eat.
I was just like, where's the nearest place here? Let's go.
Yeah.
I ate like a pizza and a half.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to thank everybody real
We were
quick.
playing up
How
in
was it?
Harlem.
Good. Oh, you went to the original Patsy's.
The original Patsy's.
Good for you, bro.
Really good.
That's right, because you're uptown.
All 5.
Shouts.
All 5 of us went.
Hey, I want to thank real quick everybody who listened to 551. Man, I put out a
shout out to Andrew, number one comedy album in the
That's
country.
right, man. No, in the world, baby.
That's right.
Let's go. Got to make sure it's legit. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening, sharing, doing all that shit. This has been a very validating experience. You know, for those of you who know my story, the comedy industry has been kind of closed off to me. And I put out this comedy album, and because I really did believe that, you know, if the people supported it, that we could do some cool things with it, and it fucking hit #1, man. And I was so stoked about it, and it's still up there. So keep on listening, sharing, streaming it. You can get it on Apple Music. You can download it on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, all that stuff. Keep it up
Spotify.
There. Spotify, Pandora, all that shit, man. Just fucking watch, or listen, rather. And thank you guys so much, man. I really appreciate that. It was a very cool experience feeling that, man. But that is all I have to say. Just a moment of gratitude for y'all. Thank you guys for listening. This is another episode.
You gonna win a Grammy?
Yo, I think my material's too crazy to be
Grammy eligible.
I would think maybe eligible, but not. I don't know if I could win. I have like a joke about teachers should fuck students. You know what I mean? Like I have a joke about...
Yeah, that's probably out. Yep.
Yeah.
Statutory rape is typically a hard line.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, it's a school shooting bit about why teachers should fuck students. I have another bit about gender equality being good, inequality being good. Like there's things that like...
But here's the thing.
I heard the gender equality
Here's the thing, and this is how I compliment Andrew as a comedian, is that... he's talking about his bits right now, and they sound like you're going to be offended. But the brilliance of Schulz is that when you go and hear his bits, you are introduced to this idea that you're offended by, and then by the end, you're laughing at it and realizing that it's actually not that offensive.
Yeah, that's fair.
Respect.
So everybody, check it out. He's a fucking brilliant dude.
Thank you, my man.
Brilliant idiot. And yeah, check it out.
Dog, he's so funny. I'm Egyptian. He's got one of the funniest bits on there is him just shitting on fucking Egyptians.
It's just about their pyramids.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. That makes sense.
Yeah, because they didn't build them or anything. Right. Yo, did you hear that guy that went on Rogan talking about the Sphinx? There was something about how the Sphinx it wasn't originally designed in the way that it is now.
What was it?
That it was originally a lioness.
Yeah,
and that it
looks like a lion.
Well, now the body is lioness and the face is human, but originally the whole time it was...
No, look, because it has like it's more than just a face. Like there's something attached to it.
Right.
So people thought it was just kind of like more like they thought it was a human because they thought it looked like King Tut.
Right.
The way he's got that thing around him. But it looks like it could be like a mane.
Well,
a flowing mane.
What they're saying, the guy who came on is basically saying that they added stone to it.
Oh, okay.
And then they chip shit away, and they actually changed the facade afterwards. And there's a lot of politics, as you know, that go on in Egypt, where like if you said, no, it actually was made 3,000 years before that, and they're like, no, the fuck it wasn't. It was made by who the fuck we say it was. So there's some issues with it. But anyway, cool shit. Check out 551. Check out
We'll go to
Egypt.
Vegas and check it out.
Let's do it.